Creative Strategy Briefs. So this is a new lecture that has been added to this class based on a meeting between me and the other professors in the curriculum. And we've decided to introduce you to Creative Strategy Briefs at the very beginning of your academic career in advertising. This is something that you will do in each and every class, and this is something that you will do beyond once you graduate. And this is one of the main things that you should take away from the advertising curriculum, and in the end, you should know it by the back of your hand. So let's start with Creative Strategy Brief by definition. So a Creative Strategy Brief is a plan. It's a straightforward declarative document that sums up what you want your advertisement to say. So this is like your blueprint. If you're going to create an ad or create a campaign is what you'll do in your last class in this curriculum, which is your capstone course. Or you're going to start creating in your second class where you start doing copywriting. Wherever you're creating an ad, whether it's a campaign or a one-shot ad, you're going to need a creative strategy brief. And that's why this is important that we start you with this right now. So there's 4 things to know about creative strategy briefs. So 1, they're done by all advertising agencies. So think of each one of your classes as an advertising agency. So I don't want you to go into your next class and think, oh, we covered this, because every agency does this. And so you should know this, and you're going to keep covering it in every class until you graduate. They all share similar elements. So again, if you look at your classes as advertising agencies, my creative strategy brief outline may be slightly different from another professor's creative strategy brief outline. However, they all contain the same elements. And this will be the same once you go out into the real world, work at ad agencies or client side creative. Everybody has some type of template for a creative strategy brief. And so in this class and the classes that I teach, the capstone class and the class before that, you'll use this format. And once you get to the capstone class, you'll add more to it. Okay. So this is the document that keeps the creative team on strategy. So what that means is you're, let's say, the art director, and you're part of the creative team. As you know, the art director, what they do, we've covered that already. And you have this creative strategy brief, and you're in the middle of creating. You can come back to this and say, okay, the tone is supposed to be kind of serious, and this is kind of funny, so I need to go in another direction, because that is the strategy for that ad, to be serious. So that keeps you on strategy. It also represents an agreement between the account management team and the creative team and the client. So we talked about this again, who the account management team, what that consists of, the creative team, what that consists of, and then you have the client. So whoever creates this brief, they start off doing it with the client. So it could be the account management team, or the account management team could take it to the creative director and they do it together. But it's like agreement. Once it's agreed on, then everybody has to follow that creative strategy brief. So let's talk about the components of a creative strategy brief. The first one is your target. Your target is who this ad is targeted to. Who do you want to be your consumers or your customers for this brand, for this ad? So some key qualities that a target must have: it must be substantial. So that means, is it profitable? Are we going to make money targeting these people? So if you have like a luxury brand, you may not want to have your target as frugal people. So it has to be substantial. Accessible. This means, can we get the ad to our target? So if you were targeting, let's say, senior citizens, you wouldn't want to put your ad on Instagram, because how many senior citizens are using Instagram? So it has to be accessible. And the third thing is responsive. Will they even consider it? Is this an advertisement that can be persuasive to that target to make them even consider it, purchasing or purchasing it in the future? So in order to identify who your target markets are, you need to break them down into segments. So within the segments, the overall umbrella of the segments is the persona. So it's good to give your target a name and a persona. It helps you visualize who you're talking to. And then you're going to break them down into segments. So demographics. Demographics is the age, gender, income, education. It can be marital status, occupations, things, descriptions like that fall into demographics. Usually when an agency or creative team or whoever is in charge of that comes up with a target, they start with the demographics. Not all the time, but usually that's a good start. And here are other considerations. Ethnicities. You can go all the way down to ethnicity. I said marital status, family size. Do they rent? Do they buy? Are they religious? What is their religion? So moving on to the next one is geographics. And so this segmentation is by the physical location of your target. So your target can be broken down by the country. It can go by the state or go all the way down to the city. You can even target by zip code or even by particular neighborhoods. So why would you even want to do that? So it's a lot of different reasons why you would want to do that. So think about Harrisonburg versus New York. In New York, the weather in the wintertime is really cold and, rigid, whereas in Harrisonburg, it gets cold, but it's not that cold. So you wouldn't want to market, let's say, a heavy fur coat to the people in Harrisonburg, because they wouldn't even be responsive to it. They wouldn't consider it. So remember, that's the third thing with the target being responsive. So those are reasons why you would think about the physical location. The next one is the psychographics. So these are referred to as activities, interests, and opinions. And these are the AIOs, which you'll learn more about as you go through the curriculum. But basically, we're saying, what activities do they like to do? What are their interests? What are they interested in? So activities could be like, they like to work out. They like, outdoor things could be their interest. Anything that's outdoory, biking and things like that. What are their opinions? So this could be, anything as far as, it can be political. It can be like on different issues like abortion. And it doesn't have to be that serious. It's just, what are their opinions about different things? So that's what we are talking about when we say psychographics. And then the last one that we're covering is behavioral. So this is their buying patterns, like their usage frequency, if they're brand loyal, what type of benefits they're seeking, or is it based on occasion? Is it something you buy based on occasion? Okay, so this is what the target would look like on a creative strategy brief. So this is something I just made up. The company is Hasbro, and the brand is Gummy Bears, and the product category is candy. And I'll keep using this and as an example because it's easier for you to catch on to it once you remember this brand, this product, and learn more about it. So our persona is Lisa. Her demographics is she's 15 years old, she's a female, she's a high school freshman. She comes from a middle class family of 3 children with both parents. She is located in the U.S. on the West Coast, in Los Angeles in particular, where there's generally mild to hot weather. Psychographics of Lisa, her activities: she enjoys traveling, painting, and running. And interests: she is really into being physical fit. And her opinions are concerned with saving the trees, being green. And then behavioral, her benefits are: what can I get? What can I purchase? Or what can I get my parents to purchase to make me fit into the cool kids? Because remember, she's a freshman. Okay, so with the behavioral, just to show you different usage patterns, you have occasions, you have usage frequency, like is this something that you buy all the time? Is this a brand that you buy all the time? Or benefits, like Lisa, her benefit is to fit in with the cool kids. Okay, part 2 of the creative brief is your current mindset. So this is, how does Lisa currently feel about your brand, which is Gummy Bears? So it says, Lisa feels like gummy bears are the kind of candy that younger kids eat, but the colors of the candies are pretty. So she doesn't want to be with the little kids, but she really likes the colors of the gummy bears. And then you go on to the desired mindset. How do you want Lisa to feel about your gummy bears? We want Lisa to know that young adults her age would love this candy. We want Lisa to crave gummy bears and get excited when she knows she's about to get some. Lisa should know that her parents would approve of gummy bears. So this is what we want her to think about gummy bears. Everything positive, everything about the brand. And then you have to talk about the competitors. So number 4 is the mindset toward the competitors. We're still talking about Lisa. This is all about Lisa. So our competitors are Jelly Beans, Now and Laters, and Sour Patch Kids. And we know this based on our research. So Lisa likes Jelly Beans because all of the other young adults her age always have them, and they're going to be cheap to purchase. Now, she also loves Now and Laters because of the different flavors, but she hates that they're individually wrapped. Like, that just annoys her. According to Lisa, Sour Patch Kids are pretty and have fun commercial, but she does not like the sour taste. So that's how she feels about the competitors. So based on that, we can help shape our advertisements as well. Number 5. Now this is the big thing in your creative brief, your creative strategy statement. It's called Big Ideal sometimes. It's called the consumer promise. It's called the creative concept. And it's called the brand ideal as well, or the brand promise. So when you hear creative strategy statement, it can be referred to any of these, but the main thing is it's what you want your target to take away from your ad. So when your target views your ad and they walk away from it, this is what you want them to walk away from it with. So this is straightforward, usually one sentence. And for this one, gummy bears are a healthy choice of candy that are made of real fruit with a burst of fruit flavor in every bite. So when Lisa leaves this ad, when the TV commercial goes off or she turns the page, we want her to know that this is a healthy choice of candy. It's made with real fruit and it has a burst of fruit flavor in every bite. In other classes that you're going to take, like I said, everybody does a creative brief and look at it as like an agency. The professors may shape this in a different way. So I know for sure in your next class, which is your copywriting class, it's shaped where the professor wants you to learn how to format it. So it's like a fill in the blank. So just keep that in mind. It's still the creative strategy statement. It's still the big ideal, consumer promise, and creative concept. And then number 6 is the evidence. So you can't just say that, oh, gummy bears is a healthy choice of candy when it's not. Or you can't say it's made of real fruit if it's not. So you have to support your creative strategy. Number 6 is referring to number 5. Number 6 is the evidence of number 5. So the first one, grapes, oranges, apples, and pears are picked every day and delivered freshly to the plant where gummy bears are made. So that is saying that supports the healthy choice of candy that is made with real fruit. And then the next one, when you bite into a gummy bear, you can taste the real juices from the fresh fruit. And so that supports the second part of the strategy with a burst of fruit flavor in every bite. And then we have vitamins, minerals compose each gummy bear from the real fruit. So we know vitamins and minerals are in fruit naturally, and so that supports why it's healthy. So you have to have evidence to support your strategy. Oops. And then the last part of it is the tone. What emotion do you want to portray in this ad? So like I was saying about keeping on strategy, this is supposed to be serious, but you're going in the wrong way to be funny. So you have a tone for the ad. You want it to be happy and fun and playful and fun loving. And so that's the tone you have to keep throughout the ad as you're creating the ad, whether it's a TV ad, a radio ad, social media, print. You have to keep the same tone. So that is your creative strategy brief.